Welcome to the class 3 part 1. Let's start. Going to share my SAP screen. This is the class which we have created in our last class. This class was deleted. I don't know how, because this is the demo system. Again, I have created this class, and again, I have created the table which we have used in our last class. This is the table. In this table was also deleted, and its data also. There is no data at this particular point of time. You might be able to see some differences between the last table and this table, though the name is same, because it was deleted. So nothing to worry. Concept going to remain same. What we are going to see into this session, that with the help of instance method, how we can save the data in the database table using workflow background step. With the static method already we have seen. This time we will see with the help of instance method. So what basically we have to do in order to do this, if you simply put this instance and public and click on this save button, check it and click on this activate, there is no error. It will not work. So let me show you again the workflow which we have created in our last class that also got deleted. Again, I have created the same kind of workflow. Okay, so let's I think again we need to create quickly. Let's go and create it quickly over here. So what we are going to do, that we are going to have a purchase order. So workflow container, we will be creating it over here. Click on this and give this PO num, name PO underscore num, PO number. ABAP dictionary data type, we can have EBELN. Click on this OK button. Just click on this save button, and now we click on this undefined double click, so that it will give the option to create the steps. Select this activity, and here we are going to create the task. Click on this button, click on this create task, and the task abbreviation over here, save underscore a data. Name save data. Release status, you can choose implemented. Work item text, save data for PO, right? And the PO number, if you want to give with the help of this particular binding, we can give it. Here under the container that is not coming, I will show you how you can get it over there. We already know, with the help of binding, we can transfer the data from main workflow to this task, and that variable we can use it over here. So first we will have to transfer from there to here. Let's go and quickly transfer that. Just go back, and this PO number I want to transfer into this task. So click on this, binding button. So here you can see that this is the workflow. Click on this PO number, and then here in this save underscore data, at this moment, you don't have any object of PO number. So you can create your one, or simply what you can do, that close this, just I don't want to save at this moment. Go to this particular task and define your class method over here. So the class method parameter is going to be, let's see, the class name should be the correct one. So /OSC24, and this is the class name. So this is fine. And the method is the save data. It's the instance method. Check this as a synchronous object method. Select this as a background processing and click on this save button, just save, and click on this container now. And you can see that IM_PO, which was the part of the importing parameter of the save underscore data of this class, is now the part of your container. So now this will be available over here. So let's quickly define the binding. Or what you can do, that simply you can click on this generate automatic binding, and the same data type will be automatically binded. So click on this and you can see that PO number here and IMPO automatically got binded. Click on this save button, and now once again go inside this class and go into change mode, and here PO number I wanted to give. So for the PO work item text, now the PO number also you will be able to see dynamically. So this part is now clear. Now let's go back and click on this OK button. But before clicking on this OK button, click on this and click on this attribute, and here background task does not need to be identified as a general task. That's fine, because this is the background task. Agent is not required for this, and for that purpose this general task and all is not required. So that's correct warning or message the system is showing. So that's fine. Click on this OK button and save it. And this save, if you remember in the last class, we have created after approval. So quickly let's go and click approval step, this user decision 8267. This is the standard task, user decision. So here go to this user decision for, or simply we can write something like a request for approval for PO, the PO number, right? So give this PO number over here in the first parameter and &1. Just decision text, right? Either it's you are going to have the approve, and outcome also we can define same, reject and reject. So this outcome will appear in the workflow, in the graphical workflow, save this one. I will show you. See here, reject and approve is coming, no? So that is coming due to outcome, what you have defined over there. So just save this one, and after approval, the save data should come. So cut this block and put it over here, right? So after approval, we want to, have this one. So when it's going to approve, then only save the data. If it's going to get reject, we don't want to save the data. Just save this one, check the syntax, click on this activate button and execute this. So here we can pass the purchase order number, but we are not getting that particular, variable. Why? Because we have not defined the importing parameter. You must have to define the importing parameter in order to pass the value from outside or from event. Save this, click on the save button, activate it once again, and click on this execute button. Now you can see that the PO number is coming, and give some PO number. Let's suppose 1001. I'm just giving it over here. Now click on this execute button, and here click on this approve. Once you approve, then it should save the data. Now go to this workflow log, and you can see that it's still in process. Why? Still in process because you have defined that particular method as an instance method. If it would have been the static method, you will not be able to see under in process. The meaning of in process means somewhere some user is taking some action, though this is not the correct status set by the workflow because we have used the instance method inappropriately. So we have to use that with proper coding, with proper settings, with proper writing the logic and all. So let's go to the class. And what you have to do, the first thing, you have to go inside all this method and you have to activate the class one by one. Why? Because anytime if you get an interface defined explicitly over here, we go in each and every method and implement manually. So go here and click on this, double click, and has not yet been implemented. You can see that. Go into the change mode, double click, and you can see that it's showing inactive. So just go and click on this activate button. Just go and click on this activate button. Just go and click on this activate button. So this is one important step. You might be thinking in case of static how it works. In case of a static method, it worked because the way static is defined and work is different. That takes the static memory. It does not have to instantiate. Here the story is different. We are using save data and the type is instance. That's why we must have to do all these things over here. However, this is the best practice that whenever you are going to use any interface, go and manually activate all the methods, because by default it does not get activate. If you remember, when you implement any body, then you go manually in all the method and you activate over there. Otherwise it will not work properly. So it's better practice. Now next part, what you will have to do, you have to define one constructor. So let's click on this constructor, and in this constructor, one importing parameter you have to define. So define one importing parameter, just give this IM underscore instance ID, and this should be of char 32 characters. Just save this one, go back, and we'll have to write some piece of code. So here, the code which we are going to write, we are going to have the instance of the self class and its property, one global variable, one global variable which is going to identify uniquely this business entity. Here, let's try to understand what I am trying to say about the business entity. Whenever you are using any class in the workflow, that class either is going to be your utility class or is going to be is going to represent your business entity. So this class, let's suppose it's completely representing this purchase order related activity of the business. So this is a kind of business entity. For each business entity, we are supposed to define a key attribute which will uniquely identify that business activity. So in the business object, you would have seen that we define the key, right? If you know about the BAPI and all concept, right? BAPI is the part of the business object. So in the same way, here also we will have to define the key. So PO number or PO number key, simply you can define, make it instance, and visibility we can have the public. And here we will have to give that car 32. Just save this one. Okay. So PO number key is fine. Then one more attribute we have to define, that is defining like this. This is also instance and this is public. So this type is going to be SIBFLPOR. I will make you understand what is this. This name you can choose as per your convenient. This is the global variable. So generally we start with, M, and this is for the purchase order. Okay. So because the first one is also global, maybe you can start with M underscore. This is the SAP naming convention. Whenever you define attribute as a global, we start with M. Fine. Click on this. Yes, click on this rename. Just save this. And here, this particular structure, if you go inside, you can see that it's the instance ID, it's the type ID and cat ID, right? So instance identification of the persistent object reference, type of object in persistent object references, and then category of object in persistent object references. Why this particular structure? Because when you are going to have the instantiation of this particular class, the instantiation should be uniquely identified. For that purpose, we are doing all the settings. At this moment, when we have not written any piece of code or when we have not defined such attributes, system is unable to instantiate this class appropriately, and that's why it's there in the status called in process. So we have defined these two attributes. Now go to the methods. Under these methods, we will go to this constructor and me, and me underscore empower. Then we have this cat ID. Under this category ID, of course, this is class. So we are going to put the class. Then again, this em underscore or, and this type ID, we are going to put the type is going to be your class name. So ZCL underscore PO underscore save data. Then me and aim underscore POR. So we are uniquely identifying the, we are uniquely defining the instantiation because we are writing in the constructor method, right? So here, the last attribute is nothing but your instance ID, unique instantiation of this class. And this is IM underscore instance underscore ID is going to be. So one more parameter here we can define. Let's click on this signature. Instance ID already we have defined, so that's fine. Just save it, check the syntax. Instance, some spelling mistake is there. Let's quickly correct this, and this is fine. Just go. Now, the second method which you have to define is find by LPOR. This one. Okay. Double click on this and come here, and we have to write some piece of code over here. Let's define one variable type char 32, and you'll have to move this LPOR hyphen instance ID to LV underscore instance ID. And then let's create object result type ZCL underscore PO underscore save data, exporting IAM underscore instance underscore ID equals to LV underscore instance ID. So what basically I'm doing it over here, I'm trying to create the object, result. This result is already defined. I will show you, double click over here and you will be able to see this result is the part of this particular interface. That's why it's not giving you any error or something like that. ZCL PO save data dynamically, like we are creating this object of this particular type, and we are exporting this LV underscore instance ID, and instance ID we are getting from where? From LPOR instance ID. If you double click over here, you can see that LPOR is already the parameter of this particular interface, so LPOR from here and result from here. So both thing is already defined, nothing to worry. Click on this pretty printer, just save this one, check the syntax, and LV instance ID unknown. I think some spelling mistake. Copy this and put it over here, and the same should be here. Just check this, save this, and activate this. So click on this activate once again, select this one as well, and got activated. Now just to go back, second important method which you will have to define is LPOR. Here you have to go and simply write result equals to me impor, full stop. Pretty printer, just save this, check this, and activate this. So these are the three steps you will have to do. Now you will ask, you will not be able to remember. Yes, it's quite tricky. It's there in the SAP documentation. So what I have done, I have put up all these, points over here. You can refer this when you are creating. Now come here and again execute the workflow and see if it's getting executed or not. So come here, execute this once again, and give this PO number 1001. Click on this execute button, approve it, and this time we are expecting it to be completed and successfully saved the data into this. You can see that now this time the status is completed. That means the data 1001 would have been saved into the table. We can go to the table and quickly check up over there if the data is persisted or not. So number of entries, one is created over here. That's wonderful. And this is what we have. So this part we are we have covered this particular topic. Now I will show you how you can start a workflow with the help of a program. So let's go and quickly create one program, and we will uh, write some piece of code over there. But before that, you should know that we are going to use a function module called SW start workflow in order to trigger a workflow programmatically. So let's go and quickly write a program /n SE38 and give the name of the workflow training start workflow. Click on this start workflow programmatically. Type executable program, click on this save and this save and save here, come here. The first part, simply you go and call this function module SW underscore start underscore workflow, and you have to pass the task. So under the task, you have to pass the workflow template number, the workflow which we have created. So each workflow is nothing but a task, right? And the workflow in our case is this one. So I'm just going to pass here. So we can define this as a constant. See workflow template type, the task, the type and all, we can go and check it from here. Go back and type this one value, simply I can put it. This constant, we can use it here. Language, psi language, give it user psi uname, sender ID and all, we can leave it. Return code, let's quickly define data return underscore code type, and because this is the local variable, maybe you can give lv underscore return code type size sabarsi lv underscore work item underscore id. That means the main workflow, the main workflow work item, main workflow instance it will be giving you. So that we will capture in the variable lv work item underscore id. LV return code, we will put it over here. LV work item, we will put it over here. And this is one, again, very important parameter. Message lines, like if you want to, attachment list, we can remove it. Container, LT container, this is an internal table. Type table of, and one another is the message underscore, or simply we can put it lt underscore message. Type this one. Okay, so pretty printer, now just remove this, is not required, and LT container, we are going to give it over here, and LT underscore message. So in LT container, what we are going to pass basically the PO number. Okay. In LT container, if you see that when we start the workflow, the PO number we are passing, whatever the data in this container, main workflow container, will have to pass from outside. How to do? With the help of program. Just we'll have to populate this. So let's create one work area, LC underscore container, like line of LT underscore container, and ls underscore container hyphen element. The element name for this is PO underscore num. So just pass this PO underscore num. Make sure it should be in capital. ls underscore container hyphen, the value should be here as 1001, or this time I'm going to give 1002. Okay, already 1001 we are having. And once we come over here, if return code, this one is initial, that means it's a successful, right? Then write that main workflow with instance triggered, right? So something like this, just you'll have to put it. Give the LV underscore work item ID over here, and looks fine now. Pretty printer, just save this, check the syntax, and click on this activate button. Okay. So let's execute this one and see some error. Incorrect parameter with call function. So this parameter was attachment list. One of the parameter needed according to the interface. That's fine. Let's go and quickly do this. So it's telling that parameter for that means the attachment list, we have one parameter, right? This attachment list looks like mandatory, right? You can see that it's mandatory, and that's why we must have to define it over here. Let's go and define one more internal table, LT attach type table of its type. We'll have to find it from here. Just go back and give it full stop. Copy this, paste it over here. Pretty printer, just save this, check the syntax, activate this. Press F8, and this time the main workflow with instance is triggered. Come here. Let me know in the chat box which is the transaction where you can go and check the log. Right? Type here quickly SWI1 or SWIA, anything is fine. Okay, so this time I'm just opening SWIA, execute this one, and here you can see. Click on this log, and here in this ready because one user step, we have added it over here for the purpose of approval. So SAP business workplace transaction, we will go and we will simply approve this, so that if you want to see the agent, click on this agent, and all users can process the tasks, right? So it's marked as a general, and it will go to any of the user. Okay, so it will be there in my inbox as well. Come here, go to this workflow. So it's the dangerous attribute, you can say, that everyone will receive this, like if you don't define the possible agents, right? Come here, let's approve this one. Once you approve, just come here and refresh this, and you can see that got approved, got completed. And now in the table level also, if you just go and check the data slash so SC11, there will be two entries at this particular moment. So this is how you can, see here 1001, but PO number this time is not passed. Why? Let's quickly check it out. What was the problem? So go to the program once again slash so SC38. I will have to open here itself, go into the change mode and see. Okay, we are not passing this container value. So append ls underscore container to lt underscore container. Now we will see that 1002 entry will be created. Execute it once again. Another work item, this got generated. And if you go and check the status over here, execute this one and come here, click on this log, ready, right? So go to the SAP Business Workspace and refresh this. You would have received over here, approve this one, and now come and refresh this. It got completed. Come here in the table, refresh this, and you will be able to see this time 1002 over here. Why it's not showing? I'll have to check it. What's the problem? So that's where the troubleshooting comes into picture. Okay. So here you can see that we are passing everything, looks like fine for me at least. And why it's not passing? Where the binding is not proper or something else? Why data is not flowing, right? So let's go and quickly check it. What is the problem? /n swdd, go to this workflow and go to here. We are just passing the data directly into the container. So start event and all is not required. PO number, here under the property, we have passed this import. Export is not required here. This is also fine. So see how to debug. What we will do that, go here and check out the container value. Okay, go here and click on this chronological view. So it will be easy to check, and go to this container, and what's the data? PO number is not coming here. That's the problem, right? This is the problem. In the container, that value is not getting passed. So we will have to debug the program itself. So come here, /n SC38, and come here, go into the change mode. I will put the breakpoint over here and we will see what is the problem. Let's change this value and execute this one. So F6 in LT container, let's see the PO number value. PO number value is not coming. Why? Is there any problem in the coding? Let me close some extra session. /n SC38, go into the change mode and PO number, ls container value, put it here, execute this, and so this value itself, okay, let's pass this as a character, you know, let's pass this as a character. I think as an integer, it's not able to save or some problem it's getting. Okay, so I'll cancel this, go into the change mode and put into the single quote. Activate this one, execute this, and this time it's coming F6. In LT container also we are having the value. Now it's perfect. Let's copy this and go to SWIA. Execute this one. It's started. You'll have to go to SBWP transaction, perform the approval. It's started, and if you go and check the log, it will be waiting for the, it's there in the status called ready, right? Request for approval. So it has gone to the user for the approval. Because it's general task, I would have also received. If it is a general task, anyone in the organization will be able to receive the work item. So see, now it's coming, request for approval for PO 1003. So it will work now. Click on this and click on this approve button. And now if you just go and check it, got completed, and here also 1003 will be coming, 1003 has come. So with this, the first part is completed.